This is Down the Rabbit Hole, where we question the mysteries and nature of reality. I'm your host, Justin Perry. What are these glitches in reality? These unexplainable events? What if you wake up one day, go outside, and your neighborhood looks completely different? Different cars, different homes. What if you call a relative's landline and a dead relative picks up the phone? These are the mysteries that keep me up at night. I have gathered 9 stories just to have you pondering the nature of physical reality. This is your host, Justin Perry. Before we get started, hit the like button and hit the notification button to get us every time.
So I just discovered this sub and need to get this off my chest. A few months ago, I had gone on a walk down my house's road and out onto the main street. I turned left and walked for a while, then turned around and went back to the neighborhood road. Nothing strange there. However, when I walked back onto the road, I saw a man I had never seen before. Now that I think about it, the trailer he was sitting by was at a 45-degree angle from the road, and none of those exist in my area. Anyway, he had a big fire going in his yard. I was strongly tempted to go sit by the fire and have a chat, which was odd. I'm usually extremely wary of strangers, but decided to just go home. Once I got to my house, it kind of clicked that house and guy and fire pit weren't real, or at least weren't normal. Like they didn't exist before my walk. The fire was huge. How would this guy have started it in the maybe 10 minutes I was off our road? At this point, my house started giving me the heebie-jeebies, so I speed-walked back out to the main instead of going inside. The man by the fire smiled at me as I walked past. Very friendly-looking man, walked down Main Street to the right for a while, turned back around, walked home. The man was completely gone. I had my family come down the road with me. I thought maybe I had simply missed him on the way back down, and the fire was really cool, so we should check it out. But nothing was there. No man, no fire, no clearing, no 45-degree house. I choke down the sick feeling in my chest and brush it off with my family as just being tired. It was maybe 10 p.m., but they urged me to go to sleep anyways. Wherever I was, I'm glad I got out of it by walking to the main. Nothing like that has happened before or since. There were a couple other strange things that happened that night, but that was the most salient thing. I still have no idea how to explain it. It's one of 2 paranormal weird experiences I've had in life that have made me question my sanity. Fortunately, the other, I at least had people with me who agree with my story. Well, I was calling my grandmother from my mobile phone on her landline. I was in a place with a poor mobile connection. My grandfather, who passed away around 14 years before, answered the phone. It was the same voice and the same way he used to answer the phone when he was alive. I froze for a moment. Then I said I'm sorry. Maybe I just called the wrong number. Then I hung up. I checked my dialed numbers, but it was the same already saved number on my phone. I didn't even type any number to call. I just picked her name from my contacts and called. Then I recalled her again, just by clicking on her name again from the last call, where my dead grandfather answered, and my grandmother answered normally. I was at the daycare, fixing my reports about the kids' growth and development while at the desk during nap time. The lights were off, but the room wasn't pitch black thanks to the trusty lamp. Enter my coworker, on a quest for something from the storage closet. Pretty sure it was construction paper or paint. It was stashed up high, and I tried my best to direct her. As she chatted from the closet, claiming she couldn't spot it, I teased about the hidden step stool. I was laughing and shaking my head, but when I walked in, I discovered an empty closet. No sounds, no coworker. I checked the connecting coat room and bathroom before questioning others, half jokingly wondering if I was being pranked. Turns out, she had left for lunch 20 minutes prior, as confirmed by another coworker. My nerves shot up when the supposed prankster returned. I asked about the construction paper or paint, but she had no clue what I was talking about. I had this necklace. I got it for Christmas from my parents. I think I was around 18 years old. It's a silver necklace with a heart-shaped rhinestone pendant. I wore it almost every day. There are a lot of pictures of me with this necklace. Anyway, at some point, the necklace broke, and I placed the pendant in a jewelry box. I haven't looked at the content of the box in years until today, since I am doing a big cleaning. I can't explain how, but when I looked in the box, there were 2 pendants. Same size, same brand, same color, same freaking markings that show that it's worn a lot. I can't wrap my head around it. Is this a glitch? And why this item? Do glitches mean anything? Hope some of you can shine some light on what is happening. About 12 years ago, this weird-ass thing happened to me. I was at a friend's house, and it was 3 of us in total. We had just arrived, and we went to his basement to hang out. Within like 5 to 10 minutes, I was laying down, watching TV, chilling, and my shirt was like kind of up, and I had my hand resting on my stomach. My one buddy notices writing on my stomach and mentions it. I look down, and I see this like paragraph 150-200 words worth of writing in black font on my stomach. It was perfect, like no smudges, looked like someone tattooed it on. Actually, that was my first thought. Like who'd have tattooed me while I was sleeping? I know, weird thing to think, but I didn't know what to think. I even licked my finger and tried to rub it off, but nothing wouldn't even smudge. My other buddy was like, "Hey, it's written backwards. Let's go see if we can read what it says by looking in the mirror." So we all 3 scared of go upstairs to the bathroom to try read it. I lift my shirt up, and then I see it literally unwrite itself off my body, and then it vanishes. The way it came off me was like writing in reverse. So if you filmed yourself writing something and watched it in reverse, that's how it came off me. Still to this day, no idea what that was or how to explain it. I was picking up around the house the other day. I picked up a bunch of ball caps that I had left around. I went to hang them from the metal railing at the base of the stairs, but before I reached the stairs, I tripped a bit and dropped all 3 hats. 2 of the hats fell to the ground. 1 didn't. It just hung there in the air, confused as to what was going on. I grabbed it. But only then did I realize I messed up the inexplicable phenomenon. I'm really weirded out by the whole thing. Yesterday, I was on my way to a gig about 2 hours from my home in Charlotte, driving up Highway 74 with 0 traffic. I have the cruise set at 70 miles per hour, and suddenly a silver Impala flies up on me, moves to the left lane and gets close to passing me, but slows down and immediately darts behind me, then off into the exit. I think nothing of it and go about my business. No less than 10 minutes later, the exact same situation happens again. No traffic, silver Impala flying up on me, exiting, the whole shebang. I'd been listening to a podcast during the time, and to me, it seemed like the conversation was in the same place as well, even though I was miles ahead. Not the first strange event to happen to me, but I thought you guys may appreciate it. I was expecting my brother for a visit. He lives about an hour's drive away. I was upstairs in my bedroom looking out, and I saw his distinctive car draw up. I watched him get out. He's 6 feet tall and bald, not hard to miss. I thought, he's on time for once. He is notorious for being late. I went downstairs and opened the door. Nothing. He wasn't there. The car wasn't there. I called him. He told me he hadn't left him yet, was just about to get in the car. He arrived an hour later. He thinks I saw someone who looked like him driving the same car who vanished within minutes somehow. I think this was a genuine glitch in the Matrix. One day, my mother and I were visiting a town a few hours from home as a little weekend getaway. They have a downtown that is full of shops and restaurants and such. We were walking through one day, and on the corner of one of the streets sat a few shops clustered together that looked like they were brand new built. One of the stores was a Thomas Kincaid store with all his paintings, which my mom is absolutely in love with. It was a small gallery with a store to purchase all of his pieces. We lost our home to a big wildfire a few years ago, and my mom lost her Kincaid painting that was hanging in the living room, which was just a small one that wasn't very popular of his. When we walked right in, the first painting straight in front of our faces was the painting that we had in the living room. We were a bit shocked and weirded out, but we continued to stroll around and eventually ended up in the store. The cashier was incredibly nice. She stated that his family opened this because Thomas used to visit the town often. We asked her if the store was temporary just because it was an art gallery, and my mother didn't have enough money at the time to replace her painting. The lady said no. Thomas himself left money aside to open up a shop for him. My mother told her that we wanted a painting eventually, and had the lady write down her number so we could call when we had the money. She also took my mother's number, just in case the painting sold. We left and went back home. 3 months later, we got our wildfire money and headed to the town to get the painting. No answer on the phone call, though. We walked through the downtown and walked up the small hill. There was no building or store anymore. It was just gone. There was no construction anywhere or anything. It just seemed like it poofed into thin air. We were so confused. We went into the candy store that faced the shop and asked the cashier if she knew what happened to the store. She looked at us confused and said she's worked there for years, and that lot has always been empty. At this point, we were absolutely confused. We searched the internet and the yellow book pages. Absolutely nothing. We just shrugged it off and then went home. A few months passed again and my mom got a call. It was the lady, and she was asking if we were still interested and ever coming back. At this point, we were genuinely freaking out. My mom double-checked with her the address and everything. So we planned another little trip to head there, and when we walked to the same place we had walked a few months ago, there it stood. We asked the same lady if they had moved locations or anything within the past few months, and she looked at us confused. She said they have always been there. We bought the painting and left. No clue what happened there. We are still so weirded out and shocked.
And you just went down the rabbit hole.